Check, check, check.
Change is tough for them old ones.
Let one of them throw in chair.
You guys ready?
No,
No.
25 minutes, that's all you got.
That's all I get. All right, we will call to order the regular city council meeting Monday, March 10th, 7 p.m. Roll call.
Joe Valdoma.
Toby Nelson.
Sam Solars.
David Paradise.
Michelle Otto.
Jessica Bonniwell.
Jackie Hines.
Jared Vogie. Dan Reamer.
Jen Selko.
All right, invocation. I do not see Pastor Kathy. All right, if you could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I will be looking for a approval of agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All right, Mr. Von Toma,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Paradise,
Aye.
Ms. Otto.
Aye.
I will vote aye. Motion passes 5-0. Be looking for approval of consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I will second.
Further discussion? Ms. Otto,
Aye.
Mr. Paradise,
Aye.
Mr. Nelson,
Aye.
Mr. Von Toma.
Aye.
I will vote aye. Passes 5-0. All right. At this time, I'll be looking for a motion to close the regular city council meeting and open the public hearing at 7:02.
I'll make the motion to close the regular city council meeting and open the public hearing.
I will second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, at this time, we are in public hearing for a wastewater treatment facility plan, Resolution 2025-06, a resolution receiving and accepting the facility plan. Take it away, Jen.
Awesome, thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council and other attendees. My name is Jen Selko. I work with Bolton & Mank, and I helped put together your facility plan for the wastewater treatment plant. This is a requirement of the MPCA to be eligible for some potential funding. So as you can see here, your facility is just south of town. And quick overview on what we're going to touch on. We'll touch the background on your facility, the alternatives that we considered to upgrade them, some considerations and costs for both, our recommendations, and then the implementation schedule. So background on the facility on the next slide there. It was originally constructed in 1965. It was just a pond system. And then there were some significant upgrades in 2002 with those items listed up there on the screen, which made it a Class B facility. And when we started this process, the plant was at 85% capacity, which is the threshold to start planning for future expansions, because we serve the cities of Montrose, Waverly, and the 12 High Estates mobile home park. And so between those three communities, we're expecting about 10,000 people in the next 20 years. So we want to have a facility that can manage all that flow. So we visited the plant, and the first alternative that we came up with is an extended aeration activated sludge plant. So on the liquid stream side, there's some upgrades that we have to do, starting with grit removal. We want to take out grit so that we can protect our downstream processes. It's very abrasive and hard on equipment. And then we would also be adding concrete basins for aeration, a third clarifier, and then upgrading your UV equipment and chemical feed. And then on the solid side, you guys currently have a sludge storage tank. And we need to find a way to haul that off, whether it be to another facility or to landfill or land application. And in doing that, we considered a dewatering technology so that we could reduce the overall volume of sludge and therefore reduce the trucking costs. So that was the first alternative we looked at. And the second is regionalization with Annandale, Maple Lake, Howard Lake Wastewater Commission. We would rehabilitate the main lift station and construct a 9.5-mile force main to Howard Lake. So we would actually pump from Waverly to Montrose and then Montrose to Howard Lake. And Howard Lake has an existing lift station that goes to the commission. And the reason for that is we can convert our on-site ponds to equalization basins. And that allows us to just plan for the average flow rather than the peak flow, so we don't have to hit so many different design conditions. We can just shoot for that average and then manage the peak on site. This is helpful for both lift stations and for the commission's facility, so they don't have to get that big influx when it rains. And that also allows us to manage it on the commission side. They're gonna have to expand for our flow, but they can expand for our average flow rather than our peak flow. So their expansion's gonna have, it's separate from this report, but it'll have an aeration basin, a new blower building, a UV equipment upgrade, and then some other miscellaneous items. So looking at both alternatives, we got a decision matrix to consider them, but they're both great. On the next slide there, the only thing we have is good is the expandability potential for the aeration activated sludge, because you are limited to your existing site. We are landlocked there, so we can only build on what we have, whereas the regionalization is still excellent because it's a lift station upgrade and then communication with the commission on what your new flows would be. So looking at the two, the extended aeration activated sludge is estimated at about $36 million, where the regionalization lift station project itself is about $13 million, and then we'll have to do some considerations on a buy-in cost. Costs for the Annandale project, or the Annandale Maple Lake Howard Lake Wastewater Commission project would be incorporated into the rate structure. So with that, we are recommending regionalization after lots of conversations. The MPCA encourages it where it's feasible, and honestly, extended aeration is a large financial and operational undertaking for all of our small communities, so it's really great that we have an opportunity to come together and we can put our resources into one facility. So here in this picture, you can see the force main route that we're considering, looking at the north route, so red up to green, over to Howard Lake, and then from Howard Lake has an existing lift station to the commission. So the implementation schedule to get this done, we just submitted the facility plan last week. We'll get that submitted or approved by MPCA. On the next slide, it's called out there, but we'll get it, after MPCA approves it, we'll get design started here in the next couple months and then submit plans around February of 2026. MPCA will get that reviewed and certified so that we can bid the project next summer and start in August or so of 2026. And then we would expect that to go across a couple construction cycles with it being such a long force main. And then the next slide shows how Annandale's design gets incorporated into that. And ultimately, the goal would be to initiate the operation with all the facilities in the fall of 2028, and then decommission our existing facility in the summer of 2029. So with that, I would open it up for any questions.
You guys have any questions? No? Okay, hearing none. At this time, I would like to open the floor for any public comment. If you have a comment, you want to come up and state your name and address.
Josh Swanson, 903 Burton Circle. So just curiosity, obviously regionalization, great. For the basin ponds, would like a larger basin pond be for the water treatment side here than inside in Montrose?
Are you asking if the wastewater pond location would be for the future water plant?
Correct.
It was not considered as one of the future locations, not saying that it couldn't be considered now that we're going this route, but the city actually has a parcel of land near the new well house off of 12. 3rd Street, thank you.
Only comment if storage ponds, H2S, always kind of
Yeah,
consideration.
definitely. Yep, nope, that'll be considered for design and getting it out of there. Ideally, we would only hold the water long enough to, until the flows slow down to normal conditions, and then we would send it on.
Okay.
So, yep.
That's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other public comment? Any other public comment? And any other public comment? All right, hearing none. Look to a motion to close the public hearing and reopen the regular city council meeting at 7:10.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing and open our regular city council meeting.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so the public hearing is now closed and we're back into regular city council. All right, any further discussion here? Council, questions, comments, concerns? No? I'd like to thank Jen and Jared for working on this. I know we've kind of gone a million different ways on this project, and I think we've finally come to a good answer here, so I appreciate all your guys' hard work. Same with our staff. They work pretty hard on this too. All right, so at this time, I would be looking for a motion to accept Resolution 2025-06.
I will make a motion to accept resolution number 2025-06, resolution receiving and accepting the facility plan.
I will second.
Further discussion? All right, Mr. Von Toma?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
I will vote aye. Resolution passes 5-0. Moving along, Wright County Sheriff's Office.
Alrighty. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Last month was pretty busy for us. We had 226 calls for service and 75 traffic stops. Getting that nicer weather, getting people driving wild, so gonna keep making sure everyone's safe, especially with pedestrians walking around and everything now, so. Yeah.
Nice. Any questions?
Nope.
That's it.
Thank you.
You got off easy tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Now we will look to hear from our Wright County Commissioner, Kirby Moyna. Please step to the mic and give your name and address, please.
You know my office address? That'd be
Yeah.
suffice for you. Yes, Kirby Moyna, Wright County Commissioner, District 5. It goes from Delano to Cokato, all the surrounding townships, including French Lake. I just wanted to come in, just kind of give a little update on some things that are going on at the county. My goal is to get to all of the cities and or townships hopefully twice a year. Might not be possible, especially later in the year when we get into big budgeting stuff, but we'll see how that plays out. In the beginning of February, we appointed a full-time county administrator, Greg Kreiser. He was the interim county administrator since August of last year after Lee Kelly had left. Very supported by the assistant county administrator as well as the department heads within the county. That same time frame, the county attorney's office, between him leaving, which was 14 years, they had another person, Mark Erickson, who retired. They lost 43 years of experience in the county attorney's office in 1 week.
Wow.
So they're looking to fill a couple of spots in the county attorney's office still. So before the legislative session started, we met with all the state legislators. There's a few things that we talked about with them that we wanted them to hopefully get through this year. Favorite topic, They call it the Progressive Chicken Act. Basically, the state statute says if you have a chicken coop on your property, you're supposed to register as a feedlot. Well, Minneapolis, all these big towns allow chicken coops. So technically, by state feedlot statute, they're all violating state statute and should take those down and register with feedlot. So we're hoping they can fix that, because that also includes people who live in the country, not just in the city. So if they have a chicken coop, they have to be a feedlot. We want the ability to administer road tests in Buffalo again and make that process easier. If you've done anything recently to try to get a road test taken for a child, you have to log on at midnight, and you could be assigned anywhere in the state. One of the other commission members, the county board members, he has had to go up to Little Falls 3 times in the last year and a half for his kids to take their driver's license test. Other people from Wright County have to go to Hastings, it's Mankato, all over the place. So it's crazy. We'd like to bring it back, make sure that everything can be done in-house, and even charge a $25 fee to get it done so that everything can be paid for and don't have to worry about any more money from the state. Like to simplify the daycare renewal. So daycares, when they renew every single year, they have to go and get fingerprinted every single year. Fingerprints don't really change. So unless you're altering them, why should you have to do it every single year? And if they don't get rid of that requirement, to at least allow the sheriff's department to be able to do them. Right now, you have to go to a state-approved place to get your fingerprints done. So you can't go to a police station, can't go to a sheriff's office. It doesn't make any sense. Closest one to here, I believe, is in Plymouth or Hutchinson. So, yeah, a lot of sense that one makes. Working with Meeker County Co-op, they provide broadband internet. Working with them to try to get money from the state and or the federal government, if possible, to help get broadband, especially in the rural parts of Wright County. We don't worry about it much here in the city, but especially in the country areas, they don't have access to broadband, and they're considered, if they have wireless internet access, even by just antenna, by the state or the federal government, that is qualified as suffice internet, which that internet, you couldn't do anything you wanted to on there. So hoping to be able to bring that in. Meeker Co-op has already been in 2 townships in Wright County and just want to get them to expand even farther in, and they want to do it. We set our budget schedule for 2026. Budget meetings start this month in March for the 2026 budget. Individual departments are meeting with the county board to go over what they do and what benefit they provide to the residents of Wright County, kind of justify why they get what they are and what they're going to need next year, what they think. The household hazardous waste facility outside of Maple Lake off of 37 and County Road 12 is out for bid. It's about a $4 million project, and this will entail tearing down the old one and building a brand new one in its place. This kind of pertains to your discussion you had this last month. The county sent out its first countywide e-newsletter. In the first 14 days that it was out, there was 1,000 views from all over the county. It wasn't centrally located anywhere. It was spread out everywhere. They haven't given us the updated numbers on that in the last week and a half, but the first 2 weeks, there was 1,000 views. So it's definitely possible. I think there was a lot of information in there, maybe a little too much. Maybe just something to learn from in the future, but I know that you've talked about doing e-newsletter here, and that's kind of a formula you could kind of use to help get that out here. So, County Road 12, the bridge between Montrose and Buffalo in 2027 is going to be taken out and repaired, and it's going to be in the springtime, and we had to finagle some dates because it was going to be at the exact same time as County Road 14 was going to be out. So that one got pushed back, this one got pushed up so that they don't interfere with each other and there's not just a log jam of traffic sitting at the stoplight here in town. Any questions? That's all I really have that you guys haven't covered or talked about.
Nope.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Wear shorts next time. All right, moving along. City council reports.
This last month I had city council meeting, leadership training, attended the community meal, the Celebrate Montrose chili feed and planning and zoning.
I had city council, park and rec, and leadership training with city of, I forget. League of Minnesota Cities.
There you go.
Yeah, had to come to me.
City Council meeting, Wright County Commissioners meeting, League of Minnesota Cities, ICMA, community meal, and Lions Pancake Breakfast. Wastewater also. No, I wasn't at the wastewater.
That's right. Wastewater meeting, League of Minnesota Cities training, fire department meeting, fire department dinner, and the Lions pancake breakfast.
Park and Rec, City Council, Community Meal, Chili Bingo Event, Royalty Meeting, Fire Department Dinner, Pancake Breakfast, and League of Minnesota Cities.
Montrose Fire Department.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In your packet is the activity report for February. Back on track to where we were in 2023 call-wise. It's been busy throughout the year so far. Compared to last year, we're up quite a few calls. Acknowledgements is everybody who attended the dinner, all the firefighters for their hard work, and specifically during the dinner. And then a thank you to the Central Minnesota EMS region for the donation of a Lucas machine to our department. Next item is a resolution in your packet. It's resolution 2025-07. It's a resolution accepting a donation by the Central Minnesota EMS region for a Lucas device. A Lucas device is used for assisting in CPR. It's a mechanical CPR device. The value of it is $22,515. I put in for the grant back in November, December, not thinking we'd stand a chance getting it, and then I got the phone call saying that we got it. So just looking to get that resolution passed.
And if I understand right, that's the only one in Wright County?
No.
No?
We're one of the few that don't have one.
Oh, really?
I think, were we, did you say we were one of the very few to, or the only one to
We're
get
the
this?
only one in Wright County. They gave away 3 within the region, which goes all the way up to Crow Wing. It's a very large region. They only gave out 3. And this was specifically to fire departments, not ambulance services. All the ambulance services have them. However, we're usually on scene first, and we have limited manpower during the day, so this will help out tremendously with that. We're going to be getting trained in on it tomorrow. So.
All right, I'll be looking for a motion for resolution 2025-07.
I'll make the motion for resolution 2025-07, the resolution to accept the donation of the Lucas device.
I will second.
Further discussion? Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Von Toma?
Aye.
I will vote aye. Resolution passes 5-0.
Thank you very much. Next is a job status change for Kristen Detloff. She was hired back in November of 2024 as a reserve firefighter. She wasn't sure if she was going to be able to make the commitment and stuff like that, and was just kind of testing the waters, if you will. She's been a great asset to us so far, so I'm looking to change her status to a full firefighter effective her start date November 7th. With the reserve firefighter position, we knew stuff like this would probably happen. Some people are going to come in and like just the reserve, but some people may come in and I might as well just do this full bore and have some fun. So she's one of those who took the latter. So
I'll be looking for a motion to accept the job status change for Kristen Detloff.
I will make a motion to accept the job status change for Kristen Detloff.
I will second.
Further discussion? Mr. Von Toma?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
I will vote aye. Job status change approved, 5-0.
next is approve use of capital funds to purchase and install a new pump into Grass 12. Grass 12 is a surplus DNR vehicle. It's a 1986 Chevy 1-ton. greatest grass truck that we could ever have, probably. We will drive it into the dirt, and hopefully never give it back in one piece anyways. The pump that's in there is 30 years old. Seals are all leaking. The engine itself is starting to get bad with the carburetor and stuff, and with it being 30 years old and a Werner pump, the parts for it are no longer available. So to do any work on the pump is requiring a lot of jimmy rigging. So we're looking to replace the pump and the engine. We'll keep the tank in there, and I'm looking for a cost not to exceed $10,000. That may seem high, and it is high. That's just so I don't have to come out here again for another $1,000 here and $500 there. We did get one quote already from American Pressure. However, it's kind of just their standard skid unit type pump. We don't know if it's going to have the right PSI ratings and flow ratings and stuff. So we may need to get a custom built one, which is going to make it go up. The slide in one that they have basically in a box was like $2,300, right around there. That wasn't installed. So there'd be some other costs associated with it, with new piping and fittings and stuff like that as well. The hose will all stay and stuff, but just looking at getting the guts and the stuff that moves the water replaced in there, since it's 30 years old, trying to be a little proactive before we have a truck with no pump.
I like proactive.
I only have one question, I guess. Is the pump gonna outlast the truck? And if it does, can we move it to another truck?
Yes, so if that truck were to take a catastrophic failure or something, we have to give the truck back to the state. We have to give the truck back to the state.
Just the truck?
We can take everything out of the truck, so the pump, the tank, anything we want out of it before we give it back to them. Essentially, we can take the wheels off if we want to, so all they need is something that resembles a vehicle back, so.
Depends on the tread.
Yeah, so that, I'm guessing that truck will probably outlive my tenure on the fire department.
Yeah, it's an 86 square body, man. That thing's gonna outlive us all.
Yes.
All right, so with that said, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the use of capital funds to purchase / install a new pump in a grass 12 not to exceed $10,000.
I'll make a motion to approve the use of capital funds to purchase and install a new pump in the Grass 12, cost not to exceed $10,000.
And a second.
I'll second.
Further discussion? Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Von Toma?
Aye.
I will vote aye. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kevin. Planning and zoning.
Mayor and council, at the February 12th Planning and Zoning meeting, we discussed the planning and zoning bylaws and changing those to be compliant with the city code. So that update has been made, though the red line of those bylaws are in your packet this evening for consideration for approval. And if those are approved this evening, there is one small change to the city code that will need to be made. That has to do with people vacating seats. Right now, it says that if they vacate the seat, somebody has to be appointed to fill the rest of their term. These aren't elected positions, so I feel like if they leave their position, that position is done, and we appoint somebody brand new to serve out a new term.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Any discussion on that?
And the Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval of the draft of the bylaw changes.
Yeah, I think these are all pretty much common sense.
Yeah, there's nothing
changes.
catastrophic in there.
Most of them were just to be in line with the city code.
Right.
I don't know why they weren't in the first place, but, so those changes have been set forth in the red line, so.
There's no further discussion. Be looking for a motion to approve the bylaws update for planning and zoning.
I will make a motion to approve the update to the planning and zoning bylaws.
I will second.
Any further discussion? All right, Mr. Von Toma?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Mrs. Otto?
Aye.
Ms. Otto, sorry. I will vote aye. Passes 5-0. Anything else, Jess? Nope. You good? Parks and Rec.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just updates from February Parks and Rec meeting. Overall, well, we're getting together, planning for the music in the park, deposit paid for, trailer status squared away for stage. Still planning to be in here at the community center, blocking off the road. Weather pending, we might have to move it inside the community center. Working on getting food for the park, Pep Island, and then reaching out to a couple of local organizations for either, cheaper desserts or like a hot dog or a brat. We had, unfortunately, a terrible showing for our painting event for seniors. Last meeting, we tried to think of different ways to get different either engagement or boosting it or even some metrics, and the idea came up to at least spend up to $100 for our next 3 events on Facebook Boost or for the Boost. See what that gets us, and at least that'll get us some metrics on who is viewing it. So either A, we can plan more accordingly for our programs, or B, if the interest isn't there, I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
As somebody who's been in agencies for quite some time, I get communities' lack of involvement. It's a lot out there. So if that ends up being the case, shifting Parks and Rec towards solely focusing on the betterment and improvement of the parks, as in like increasing value for the parks, that might have to be
Be a discussion.
As part of that, we have our next movie in the park in May, so we're going to be boosting that. That will be, I believe, that's going to be Field of Dreams. So we're going to have our Parks and Rec one sheet, kind of with the entire rest of the year catalog of events that we're going to have, and then flip side, kind of that call to action for Parks and Rec, and see how it goes. We do have our partnership with Wright County Parks. The archery program will be back. We're reaching out to Coborn's to kind of see if there are any kind of donations available for food and drink, because it kind of ran pretty expensive last year, and with how things are going, we're kind of trying to pinch every penny we can. So worst case scenario, we'll still probably do at least juice boxes or something. I think Christy, reach out to you for porta potties, maybe potentially earlier than usual. Perfect. I think that was that was the biggest snafu from last year. So as long as that's there, we're golden. Well-received program. I stopped by many people who really like that archery program.
Yep.
Rightly so.
Heard the same.
With this, also I was going to consider reaching out to them now that seeing how the prairie is, there might be something popping up where we can do a little double dip of archery, walk around, see if there's any plants. Fingers crossed.
All right.
What an excellent transition to the prairie restoration proposal. I don't know if you got a chance to review it. Seems expensive, but if you consider the spot checking and the precision, I get Parks or Public Works could mow that spot, but that's depending on our weather, that's a big area to mow. Pretty time consuming. My always biggest concern when you're planting an area that big is thistles coming up, because they like to canopy out everything. I think it's a fair price for $31.50. Tyler is pretty good at reaching out, and either when he's running between here and Princeton, he'll shoot us a text or an email if we can meet out there. And Me working from home, it's usually not any kind of issue to just go out there and check. And some parts are doing better than others, but I'm hoping to get out here either this week to kind of supplement some of my seeds from lawns, from legumes, from some of my plants just out there that are native within the same category and land quality, and just to boost it a little bit more.
So this is, so they came out last year, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be out 3 times this year? Am I reading that correctly?
Correct. 3 times.
Yeah, and this is the second growing season. The original estimate they had given us was $3,000, so this is just $150 more than that. I'm sure their costs have gone up. And this year they'll be working on the integrated plant management, which is highlighted on page 102.
Be doing some spraying, some mowing. What is wicking?
Wicking, it's either going to be, from my understanding of wicking, it's either going to be either like the flame wicking, where they, if it's a woody species, take a little drip fire to it, or there's like the rag wicking, like a kill stick kind of, where it would be a manual clip and then treat the bark and stump for any kind of odd woodlands. I'm sure cottonwoods are going to start to pop up, and hopefully no buckthorn, but I mean, there's spots all around there of buckthorn, so that's always one to watch out for.
Yep. All right, so you'd be looking for approval for that? So I'll be looking for a motion to approve prairie restoration proposal 2025 integrated plant management at Rolling Meadows Regional Park for $3,150.
Make a motion to approve payment to Prairie Restoration proposal for 2025 integrated plant management at Rolling Meadows Regional Park. Rolls right off your tongue.
It does. So I'll be looking for a second.
I'll second.
Further discussion?
If I'm not mistaken, we had already planned for this in the beginning of all of it.
Yep. All right, Ms. Otto?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Von Toma?
Aye.
Will vote aye, passes 5-0.
Do I need to get approval for that $100?
I was gonna ask, I think you do.
I'll make a motion to approve the $100 to boost the Facebooks for their events.
Thank you.
I will second.
Further discussion? No, I think that'd be a great idea, at least kind of see what kind of engagement we're getting off of those.
Yeah, at least you get to know whether or not people are interested.
Exactly. All right, Mr. Von Toma?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
I vote aye, passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, city engineer.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Enclosed in your packet this evening is a memo related to the CSA 12 or County Road 12 improvements project. As Council is aware, Wright County will be doing improvements to that roadway this year. As part of the typical project, every time we have a project come up, we evaluate the existing city utilities located within it, catch basins, manholes, gate valves, sewer manholes. We have completed that investigation and have determined that some catch basin castings need to be replaced as part of that improvement, as well as some curb and gutter along the project. Wright County, and the action item that we'd be looking for this evening is there's a memorandum of understanding enclosed in your packets. We'd be looking for council approval to that. One of the things that we did come across as we were doing the investigation, there are some sanitary sewer manholes within that corridor that have been compromised as a result of hydrogen sulfide gas, which is common within the sanitary sewer system. One of the manholes in particular, we did reach out to a lining contractor to obtain pricing for lining, which would be less invasive than removing and replacing a manhole. That particular manhole is not a candidate for lining per the contractor. They were not willing to do so. So as part of that project, we were recommending that it be replaced with the other utility improvements that are being completed with Wright County's project. As a result of that discovery, we investigated some additional manholes on other systems where we have force mains dumping into them, and noted that some systems have the problem, some don't, and typically that's just a factor of the length of force main and other considerations that go into that. But ultimately, this evening, what we're looking for is a motion authorizing the city to enter into that memorandum of understanding, and then certainly we could further investigate the other manholes that we discovered during the process and provide additional information to council at a later date. But the time-sensitive item right now is the memorandum of understanding, so that the city's portion of the improvements can be completed as part of the Wright County CSAH 12 improvement during 2025. We have estimated that the city's portion of the costs associated with the city improvements with the County Road 12 project is approximately $95,000. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that council might have.
How often should those manholes be checked? I mean,
Should they be?
just looked at. I mean, this is obviously isn't something that just happens overnight that they get compromised.
In terms of, well, I think the manholes themselves have been noted as deteriorating over time. I know staff checks things and looks at them. And I don't know how frequently that is, but I would assume that it's every few years, so. Yep.
Once every 3 to 5.
That's on a maintenance schedule then?
Yeah, we try to do, actually, we've been doing pretty good. We do almost half the town every other year, so. But that's jetting, right? I mean,
So what actually failed? Is it the manhole itself, or?
concrete is powderized.
Okay.
We can't even climb down the ladder in it.
Yeah, it's totally crumbling. I mean, it's just,
So when Rolling Meadows lift station pumps, it gasses off into all the manholes, but the second one seems to be the one that it gasses off in. And that's the one that really got attacked by the hydrogen gas. We do plan on moving forward with lining the rest of them before they get to that point, but it's not going to be cheap. But this one has to be replaced before Wright County puts a new tire down. So it's kind of, you don't want to be cutting new tar up to replace a manhole after they just tarred it.
And this lining, expected useful life of 100 years?
I have no idea.
Give or take 20 years?
I would guess if we plan on lining this new one right away,
Right.
I'm assuming it would double its lifespan, but I can't tell you for sure.
And it looks like there's a 10-year warranty on said lining, so. Okay.
So it's definitely good for 10 years.
At least 10, yes. 10 years, 1 month, we're SOL. All right, any questions for Jared or Danny on this? No questions, so I'd be looking for a motion to approve the memo of understanding for pavement preservation and utility improvements at CSAH 12 in Montrose.
I'll make the motion for the memo of understand the pavement preservation and utility improvements, County State Aid 12 in Montrose.
I will second that motion.
Where is the $95,000 going to come from?
Good question.
money tree.
Sure.
Okay. Well, therein lies a problem.
It is an emergency type situation. If this does collapse, it's gonna cause a
Even,
whole lot of problems.
right.
You could look at splitting it up too. You know, we can always look at if we have to divide the cost between maybe a couple different things to maybe not take the blunt of it, spread it out.
So there is a feasible path.
I think so.
Okay.
We'll find a way.
I don't doubt you for a moment. I don't doubt you at all. All right, so we've got a motion and a second. So any further questions? Mr. Von Toma?
Aye.
Mr. Nelson?
Aye.
Mr. Paradise?
Aye.
Ms. Otto?
Aye.
I will vote aye. Passes 5-0. Any updates or questions for Jared? Or Jared, do you have any updates?
I do not this evening, Mayor.
Okay.
Council.
Any questions for Jared? All right, hearing none. Thank you, Jared.
Thanks, Council.
Public Works updates.
Mayor and council, I really don't have anything tonight. As far as updates, we kind of just talked about what Bolton and Mink and Public Works has been working on there. If you have any questions, we'll take them.
Any questions for Public Works? You're getting off pretty easy tonight, Dan. All right, let's see, we've got no old business, no new business. I have no open forum requests. So upcoming meetings, planning and zoning has been canceled. EDA will be Tuesday, March 18th, 4 p.m. at Montrose City Hall. Park and Rec will be Tuesday, April 1st, 5:30, Montrose City Hall. Our next regular city council meeting will be Monday, April 14th, 7 p.m. right here. Acknowledgements, recognitions, or announcements. Okay, hearing none.
Motion to adjourn?
All right, we've got one motion. Can I get a second?
I will second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All right, we are adjourned, 7:47.